This video is brought to you by Practical Music Theory for the Rock Guitarist, my new book, which is a comprehensive guide to all aspects of music theory necessary for playing rock guitar. From blues to the cycle of fifths, from understanding and using modes to choosing the right notes for a melodic solo, from pentatonic scales to chord construction and keys. It's all covered in a clear and concise manner. With accompanying video demonstrations, jam tracks and tabs, you'll learn to use the knowledge you gain in accessible ways that make sense for less than the cost of a few guitar lessons. Check out the link in the description for more details. Hello chaps, welcome once again to John Robson Guitar Tuition. As always, I do hope you're well. That was me having a little bit of fun playing over a rather up-tempo backing track in the key of B minor. And it's relevant to today's video because today is Wednesday, and as you know, on Wednesday I deal with viewers' questions. So before we get into it, I'll just let you know that if you have a question or a query of a guitar or music related nature and you think I'm the chap to answer it, then get in touch, jrguitartuition@gmail.com, or you can leave a message or comment below this or any of my other videos, or you can use the email form on my website. You can see the address at the top of the screen there, link in the description. Today's question comes from none of those sources. It comes from one of my students, a chap called Steve, and you briefly met him when I was doing a day in the life kind of video. When was that? Last week or week before, whenever. Anyway, he featured a little bit in that video, and he came to me in his last lesson, where he said, I've got this bit of a problem where, I can play over a nice slow ballad backing track really well, and he can give him a slow blues, and he can really sort of dig in and play some tasty stuff. But whenever the backing track gets a little bit fast, he starts to kind of lose it a bit. He starts to kind of feel a little bit like he's standing in front of a fire hose with all of the chord changes coming at him and so on. And it is something that I've heard other guitar players say that this is a problem that they have. So today I'm going to show you how you can deal with it. Let's have a little bit of a look at the trick that I developed many years ago to help me cope with things that are faster tempo that could be a little bit off-putting.
Here is the explanation.
Okay, if you have an up-tempo, high-energy, fast backing track, then kind of instinctively a lot of people will want to try and keep up with it, to try and match that speed, that high-energy, up-tempo feel. And there's a lot to be said for doing that, but you don't have to if you find that off-putting. Let's take a little bit of a listen to a snippet of the backing track you heard me soloing over earlier. And as it's playing, what I'm going to be doing is kind of conducting like this, marking out where the beats are. And you'll see by the speed that I'm moving just what kind of up-tempo feel the backing track has. I've got this all set up on hotkeys on the keyboard here. Hopefully this is going to work. If I press this and then this, we should be good to go. So hopefully you could see that was moving along at a fair old lick. Actually in beats per minute it's 160 beats per minute. So I find the trick is to think at half that speed. Think at 80 beats per minute. Now let's have a little bit of a listen to the backing track. It's the same chord, changes for the same amount of time. So in terms of, you know, kind of number of seconds on each chord, it's exactly the same. The only thing that's happening is I've changed the drum track to make it so that the snare drum is happening half as frequently. Basically, we're counting it at half the speed. And that is going to sound like this. So what you need to do psychologically is when you hear that up-tempo kind of feel, just mentally kind of count the other way. So if we do this with a metronome, let's just fire this up. Here's a metronome at 160 beats per minute. It sounds like this. Okay, so all you got to do is, instead of counting that as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, instead think this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, okay, and you know, it becomes less off-putting. So if you can just develop that little mental agility to kind of count at half speed, then you know, it should work. If we take a listen to that solo that I played earlier, but this time with the sort of half speed feel backing track underneath it, it'll sound like this. And there is something of, what's the sonic equivalent of an optical illusion? I guess a sonic illusion going on there, where that solo, it is the same performance, by the way. I didn't film myself playing that solo twice. That's the same footage, but just with the kind of half-speed backing track played underneath it. You know, it just feels like a slower and therefore perhaps more accessible and more manageable solo to play. When you hear it over the up-tempo backing track, it sounds just a little bit more of a faster solo. And, you know, if you are, as I say, getting maybe a little bit tied in knots trying to keep up with a fast backing track, try this little trick and hopefully you'll find that it makes life a lot easier for you. So now you know what to do. Go away and have some fun with it. And there it is. Just think at half the speed. Learn to count 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 like that. And suddenly you can relax into it a little bit more and you know, from there on in, you can get comfortable with the more up-tempo backing tracks. As usual, you'll find a full tab for that solo. It's the same solo both times. You'll find a full tab for the solo in both Guitar Pro and PDF formats, along with a clip of me playing both clips of me playing both solos and both jam tracks to play along with for yourself, both the slow one and the up-tempo one. All of that is up on my Patreon page. There's the address, link in the description. As I'm sure you know by now, $3 or £3 a month gets you access to all of these different resources and goodies that go along with these YouTube videos, and a massive thank you to everyone who supports me in that or any of the other ways, all of which are downstairs in the description. And that is pretty much the video for today, folks. Hope you enjoyed what you've seen and found it informative and useful in some way, and perhaps even a little bit entertaining as well. And if that's the case, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you haven't already done so, and why not drop me a like as well while you're at it. And as always, don't forget the live stream every Friday 5 PM UK time. And you know what happens there? We have a beer and talk about stuff. Music, guitars, whatever. Classic TV shows often seems to crop up. But anyway, it's a great way to kick off the weekend, and I'd love to see you there if you can make it. But for now, I'll bid you all a good day and say thank you so much for watching. Thank you for your time. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.